So I recently put out a message on my Instagram and I asked people to ask me questions about the courier and delivery industry that you guys want answered. I got a lot of questions, but I've picked out the four that I think are best and that are going to be most applicable to most people. And I'm going to break them down in as much detail as I can. I'm going to be doing this maybe every week or so. So if you guys have any more questions, pop them here in the comments and I'm going to go do yours hopefully next week. But we've got four top questions here that I want to go through, that I want to answer and give you guys as much detail as I can and answer the questions to the best of my ability about the courier and delivery industry. So, without further ado, let's get into this. Let's stop talking and go answer the questions that you guys wanted to know. So, the first question comes from Mo Hader on Instagram. And his question was, what do you say to businesses to get customers? So I think he's talking about more direct customers here. So once you're a little bit established, you've been doing a bit of subcontractor work and you want to go out there and get your own customers. What do you say to these companies to get them to turn around and say, let's give this guy a contract? So the first thing I would say is make sure that your branding is on point. If you have bad branding, then there's no point doing this at all. You want to make sure that your branding is on point. That means that you have things like a logo, you have a half decent website, you've got maybe some business cards, your van is maybe printed or not. That's not too important, but it does help with your image. You want to make sure that that's all in place first. Once you've then got that there all in place, what you can then do is you can start to approach companies. If you've already been working as a subcontractor for larger companies, then what you could do is basically take the knowledge that you've got from their customer base, look at similar companies and start to target them. So if you see that they've been working with engineering companies like maybe Rolls-Royce, you can look at other similar engineering companies or maybe different departments within that country, within that company, because you don't want to poach, and burn that bridge and poach their customers. But what you can do is use their customer base as a way to find your target market and start approaching these companies. So you can send them emails. You can ring them up and phone them, which is a good way to get on the phone. But sometimes if it's a large company, it's quite difficult to do that. If it's small local businesses, email and phone call work really well. However, the easiest and the best way to get these customers is going to be what I'm going to talk about right here, is actually going into the businesses. So what does this require? This means that you put something which we call a pack together. What your pack is essentially a list of information about your company, list of insurances you have, previous work and reviews that you have, and also what your company provides different. So you might have a discount code, they book 2 jobs, they get 1 for free, any kind of giveaway which is going to get them in the door and get them to book a job with you. That's what I would do. And then once you've done it once, you can just repeat this process again and again and again. That's kind of the best way to do it. And what you sort of say to them doesn't really matter. It's more about how you approach them. If you have an email campaign going on, that's a good way to do it. But there's many ways you can do it. But what I would do is make sure you have a unique selling point, that your branding is on point, and that you approach them in the right way. Platforms like LinkedIn are very good for this as well. So let's move on. The next question comes from Jeff Bezos 2011 on Instagram. And he asked me, he said that he's doing Amazon multi-drop at the moment. And he wants to know if there's much work in South Wales for A to B delivery. I'm assuming you want to leave the multi-drop world. You don't want to work for Amazon anymore and you want to start your own business making money. So is there much work in South Wales? Yes. I always tell people that any large major town or city, there's always work. So in South Wales, you've got places like Bridgend, Cardiff, Swansea, Porthcawl, Newport. There's a Meffred, Tidfield. I don't know how you say it, but there's a lot of places there. Even Bristol, just over the bridge. There's a lot of work in that area. It's a very industrialized area. If you're in a more rural area in South Wales, let's say Carmarthen, or a little bit more north than there, then it might be a little bit more quiet, but there'll probably still be work available. But if you're in South Wales along the M4 strip, there's definitely work there. Like I said, anyone that's in a major town or city, there's always going to be work available. Always, no matter what, for A to B delivery work, especially if you're in an industrialized area and there's motorways nearby, you're in the sweet spot. You're in the absolute sweet spot. So what I would say, Jeff Bezos 2011, is quit your job at Amazon, go out there and get some A to B van delivery work and start making some serious money as a van driver. Next question comes in from Martin Should Be Vanning. I like that name. It's a cool name, Martin. So his question was, what is the biggest mistake that new drivers make that costs them money? This is a great question, because obviously when you're starting your business, you haven't got a lot of cash. So you want to reduce your expenses and maximize your profits. One of the biggest mistakes I would say, and one of the biggest mistakes I've seen personally and that I've actually done myself, is running Google Ads. It sounds quite crazy, but because your question is more aimed towards new drivers, I would say Google Ads is a big mistake, because if you're just, man with a van, or, Gary the van driver, and you run a Google Ads, not many people are going to click. And if they do click, you might get one or two sales, but the average customer value is going to be 100, £120. You're going to spend, let's say, £1,000 on Google Ads to make £240. It's not a very good return on investment, personally, in my opinion. So that's kind of one of the things I would say is going to be the biggest mistake at the beginning, is putting money into advertisements before you're even established. You can go out there and get your customers without having to spend a penny on ads. Social media ads work a little bit better, but Google ads, I really don't think for new van drivers are really worth it at all. Once you're a little bit more established and you've got a brand, a big website, you've got reviews, you've got customers, then you can put money into Google ads to build your brand further and get some more regular customers. But at the beginning, that is probably what I would say is the number one mistake that people make, is putting money on Google ads thinking that it's going to get them a load of customers and they're going to get rich just by putting a little bit of money on Google. That's personally what I would say. And then also not getting a fuel card as well. These people that drive around that are paying pump price is absolutely crazy. Get yourself a fuel card. Save yourself a lot of money there on fuel. Yeah, that's what I would say. Okay, so we're on the last question now. The last question comes from Swap Kennel 101, and his question was, I see that you've got your subcontractor database within your training program. What's the guarantee that that actually works, and how can you guarantee that I'm going to get work from that? Great question. So within our training program, yes, we do have our subcontractor database. Within that, we've got a list of 55 companies that we know pay good rates, that cover the whole of the UK and are currently looking for van drivers. The guarantee with that is obviously our 90-day money back guarantee, which is within our program. If we don't help you make any money with your van delivery business within the first 90 days, you can apply for a full refund and we'll give you every single penny that you spent back. The reason that we charge for this, obviously, is because of the fact that we can't just give this away for free to everyone, because then all these companies will have too many van drivers. There has to be a barrier to entry, and that's what the barrier to entry is. But the guarantee is obviously the 90-day money back guarantee. And the fact that we know these companies are looking for drivers. These are companies that we've worked with, that we've partnered with, that we know well, and that we know are always looking for drivers. They have work coming out of their ears, absolutely coming out of their ears, and they haven't got enough drivers to cover it. That's why we put the subcontractor database in place, to connect the drivers and the companies who need the drivers together. So the drivers can make money, the companies have the drivers they want, and everyone is happy, everyone's laughing. So that's kind of the guarantee. The fact that it's 100% success rate, because it's risk-free, completely risk-free, because if it doesn't work for you, you get a full refund. So all you need to do is put that money up front, invest in yourself to get access to the database. Then once you've got access to the database, we tell you exactly what to say to these companies. We give you email, phone call templates. Some of them you apply online. And once you've done that, within 2 weeks, 3 weeks maximum, they should turn around and say, yep, can you work for us full-time Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m.? And you say, yeah, no worries, I've got my van ready to go. There you go, £250 a day. That's a nice little bit of money there. And how did you get this? From our subcontractor database. So I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. That's the 4 questions for this week. If you guys want me to answer your question next, pop it in the comments here on this video. I'm going to be going through, maybe I'll pick 3, maybe 4, maybe even 5 next week. Who knows? I'm going to answer the questions about the delivery and courier industry as best I can, to give you guys as much knowledge as I can here for free on this channel. So guys, subscribe if you haven't already, like, comment, all of that stuff. I don't want to sound too cliche. But thank you guys for watching. Take care of yourself. And if you've got a question for me next week, pop it down in the comments. And also follow my Instagram and TikTok. That will be in the comments as well. And last but not least, if you want to get our cheat sheet or join our full training program where you can get access to our subcontractor database, the links for that will be underneath as well. So take care, guys. Look after yourself. Every day is a good day. See you guys later.